Hello. Good to see you again. Sorry, I was completely lost in my own world there, drinking from this wonderful Like a Magic mug. Available now on the Abroad in Japan merchandise store. Ruthless product placement there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September live streams. Good to see you all. It's been a long, crazy, ridiculous month. Probably the most action-packed month of the year. It started with a bang. Well, at least it didn't start with a bang. It started with a fucking missile, as you all know. And it felt like a really long month. You know what I mean? It's felt like a really long month. Ever since that North Korean missile thing happened, it's just this whole month's been completely thrown off kilter. It's been a completely wild, mad month. Anyway, let us know where you guys are messaging from, or let me know where you're watching from. Sorry. You'll be pleased to know that today I've actually drunk some coffee before doing this live stream, so I'm a bit more lively than usual. In previous live streams, I've kind of just been in a kind of dazed state this time of day. So yeah, I've drunk coffee and I'll be all right, unless the coffee wears off, in which case I'm fucked. Anyway, yeah, let us know where you're watching from, guys. Now, I like to start these live shows with a show and tell session, a bit like school. And the first thing I'm going to show you is this drink. Now, this looks like a good drink. It says Taco Cola. And I got it yesterday. I was filming with Ryotarov 2 days in Aomori, and one of the places we filmed was this town called Taco. I think it was just called Taco, like the Mexican taco. And the place is famous for its garlic. And what they've done is they produce about 70% of all of Japan's garlic, and the townsfolk are pretty mental because they've stuck garlic in just about everything, including this Coca-Cola, and it's actually quite good. Who'd have thought that Coca-Cola and garlic goes together quite well? Only thing I'll say is don't drink more than 2 bottles because you will feel quite sick. But other than that, it's quite nice. And yeah, garlic and Coke goes together quite well. Who'd have thought it? Next, Aomori, of course, is home to apples. If you go to Aomori, every kind of souvenir has apple in it, and this is a nice souvenir, apple jelly. Jelly's really popular in Japan, and they have it in these kind of weird little things like this. It's like a shot of jelly. They're not really popular in the UK. I don't know about over in the States, over in North America, but they're not that popular in the UK. They're seen as a little bit tacky, but you kind of open it like that, and it's popular sweet, and then you kind of just shot it like that. It actually tastes rather shit. Anyway, where are you guys watching from? Calgary. I've been to Calgary. Nice place. Waco, Texas. I love the name Waco. Texas, Melbourne, Sterling, Adelaide. Lots of people from Australia. Somebody from Austria as well. Oh, no, it's Australia. Oh, shit. Germany, Texas, Slovenia, Belgium, Louisiana. And wow, it's amazing. It's strange, you know, this whole live show thing. It's still a bit strange to think there's people from every corner of the world watching. And I hope it's a convenient time. The trouble with doing live shows is it's difficult finding the right time, what with the whole time zone problem, right, between Japan and America and Europe. But I think this is the best time to do it. So yeah. And Adam says, you've been to Calgary? Seriously, why? I've been to Calgary because I stopped over there on the way to Vancouver from London. So I've only just passed through Calgary. So sorry, I haven't actually really been to Calgary. I just stopped there briefly. But yeah, so no, sorry, I haven't been to Calgary. So that's a sad come down after an enthusiastic opening. But the last thing in the show and tell session, I always talk about these books. This book, I've started learning Japanese again, believe it or not, or rather, I've started revising Japanese again because I've got so much Japanese in my head that I haven't been using recently, and I'm trying to get it all kind of back up and running. And this is quite a good book. It's called An Intermediate Dictionary Grammar Guide, and it's surprisingly, it's actually quite fun. I don't know, I never thought I would see the day that grammar was fun, but it's fun because you can read and learn something like that. You can learn a new bit of grammar, and then you can just go off and use it right there and then, like during the day. So it's quite fun learning grammar. And to prove that I have been learning grammar, here's this book, and I've been writing in it. Look at this. Yeah, proof that I've been learning. I haven't written Japanese out in about maybe 2 years. So in about 1 or 2 years, I've barely written any Japanese. I just kind of revised by reading it. But there you go. You can see I've been writing. There's your proof. I'm not lying. And although if you can read that, I will give you like an award because it's just really shit handwriting. I really need to work that out. But it's quite therapeutic. I don't know if you find that as well, but I don't know. I find writing out Japanese kanji characters and Japanese sentences is just quite a therapeutic thing. But I don't know why that is. I don't know. I think it's because it takes a lot of effort and focus. When if you can see here, like it takes a lot of effort and focus to write out kind of kanji characters. Some of them are pretty complicated as well, but it's very therapeutic. Yeah. Anyway, let's dive into the comments section. What's going on? Come past Osaka sometime. I'd probably ask for some sort of horrid cheesy selfie. I will. I love Osaka. I haven't been there in ages, and I'll be more than happy to do a selfie. I've when you become a YouTuber person and then you start bumping into like viewers often, which happens. Like if I go to Tokyo, I bump into people, I bump into viewers, even people on Patreon quite often now, and I've worked out the perfect pose to do a selfie. It's kind of like at the side like this, and then you go like that, and it makes me look thinner. Everyone has a perfect angle, right? And once you've taken about 100 selfies, you kind of work out which way it is. For me, it's this way, and I strongly advise you to go and stand in front of a mirror for half an hour and try and work out how you look better. Because if I do straight on photo like that, just look kind of chubby and shit. So like that. There you go. Tip of the day. That's my first life hack. As you know, I on the post on Patreon for this live show, I said I wanted to try and get some life hacks together because we have lots of viewers from around the world here, lots of ideas, lots of knowledge I thought we would share. And what better way to do it than by life hacking? So that was my first life hack, doing a selfie like that. Now let's see what your life hacks are. Also, I hate the term life hack. It sounds really weird, doesn't it? Everything has to have the word hack after it these days. Life hacker and sandwich hacker. I don't know. Is there any other examples of the word hacker? Am I completely blowing it out of proportion? I don't know. So these are your life hacks that you sent in to me. Some of them good, some of them not that good. But first life hack. Adam says, always have a daily ritual when you wake up. It can be something small. It just needs to be meaningful or self-empowering. That's a good life hack. Yeah, that's good. Like, do I have any morning rituals at the moment? I guess actually studying Japanese. When I wake up these days, I try and copy out one chapter from the grammar book into the textbook. And once you've done it, like it takes 20 minutes. Once you've done it, you feel really good about yourself. Also, I drink water. Is that a morning ritual? I drink a bottle of water. Apparently you get dehydrated when you sleep at night. But yeah, do you guys have any morning rituals that you recommend? Let us know. Isabella says, I don't retain information unless I physically write it down. Transcribing notes can be a real memory boost, especially with highlights and doodles. Very good point. And again, I don't know how many times I'm going to exploit this book, but as you can see, lots of different colours, and writing down things definitely does help. William says, being well liked leads to more success than being good at your job. Get your boss to like you. That is incredible advice that should quite literally be taught in school. You work that out pretty quickly when you first start your first job. That getting on with your boss is often way more important than actually being good. I worked in like an office doing some crappy administration job, but I got on well with the bosses, and they kind of were always nice if I wanted days off work. And then I also worked in a castle as a waiter, which is it sounds better than it actually. It doesn't sound that good, but I worked as a waiter, and I often and the boss lady often chose if you would come back or not and get more work, because it was kind of contract work. And because she liked me, I always got work, and the people that she didn't like didn't get any work. So get on well with your boss. That's a bloody good bit of advice. Do a job you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. See, I'm not sure I agree with that, because I do a job that I love, YouTube stuff, but I feel like I do a lot of work when I'm sat in a dark room editing all day, as I have been today. So I don't know if I agree with that, but I do agree with do a job that you love. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, really. Yeah. It's a good point, actually. Any morning rituals from you guys? Hitting snooze button at least 10 times. That's not a morning ritual. That's just a normal thing that people do, including me. God, whoever invented the snooze button, that was a crime, wasn't it? Instead of focusing on single and I can't read that. I can't even read my own handwriting. Instead of focusing on the, I can't read my own handwriting. This is shocking. How embarrassing. All right, let's move on before I embarrass myself even more by not reading my handwriting. So, before we dive into your questions, of which there are many that you guys have sent in, and I'll be answering your questions as well in the comment section, I thought we'd go over the month's news, because there is a lot of news. And it's been, like I said before, it's been quite an action-packed, crazy month. First off, that North Korean thing, I don't know if I want to talk about it again, because I've talked about it quite a lot in the Patreon vlog, but I was on, it was really weird. I had another 3 minutes of fame. It wasn't even 3 minutes, it was more like 1 minute of fame 2 days ago. I about 2 weeks ago, after the North Korean missile thing, ITV, which is the UK's second or third largest TV station, rang me up, or they emailed me and said, do I want to be in some kind of TV show talking about North Korea? And I thought, why? Like, what could I possibly do? What can I say? And they made a TV show called North Korea versus Donald Trump, or Donald Trump versus North Korea, or something. And then they interviewed me over there, and they did a really weird scene where the guy who was interviewing me did it in a coffee shop. And you might have seen it if you did watch it 2 days ago. An awesome guy, Jack Sadler, Patreon supporter. I don't know if he's in the comments section. I can't see him. He actually got the whole video, and I'll put it on Patreon later if you want to see it. It's not that special. It's quite weird. But this guy, this news reporter in the TV show, is like in a coffee shop in like Starbucks with his laptop out, and me just on the screen talking to him over Skype, and it's really weird. But I was kind of really happy about that, because it's the only way a lot of people back home actually appreciate anything that I do. The thing about YouTube is a lot of people don't really care about it. It's not like a really good thing. But if you go on TV for like 10 seconds, it's like, wow, it's amazing, it's great. So that's the only good thing to come out of being on TV 2 days ago. And I posted about it on Facebook and Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be on TV, it's great, woo. And I thought I might be on it for like 4 or 5 minutes. Wasn't even that. It was like 20. It was like 20 seconds, and I wish I'd never promoted it or talked about it. So, bit of a humiliating experience. But that was one of the weirder things to come out of the North Korean situation, which seems to have died down now. It's like they fire 2 missiles, everyone panics, and then everything's back to normal. So unless they fire another missile tomorrow, it's kind of like, I guess no one cares. It's just situation over for now. So. It's so strange to see him talking and knowing that he is really talking to us. Says Voilin. This is Voilin's life in the comment section. Chris is talking in a piece of plastic, and we can sit on a piece of plastic that gives us light. I can't yet imagine it. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Right? You think it's weird watching me talking into a piece of plastic and then seeing it on a screen. Imagine being on this side of the fence, where I'm talking into a kind of a camera with a little green light there, and it's just weird. It's like, it's really strange, right? Doing a live show where you can see lots of comments, but there's nothing. If I stop talking, silence. It's nothing. Really scary. I've been doing this for 1 year now. This is like it's been over a year we've been doing these live shows, and I'm still not that used to it. I'm still kind of weirded out by it. So yeah, the live show thing, I enjoy it, but I'm still getting used to it. Maybe I need to do it more often, but it's a weird old thing. What else happened this month? Oh God, yes, the YouTube demonetization. That came out of nowhere. Just as the North Korean situation was dying down, everything was going back to normal. I opened my emails on one bright Monday morning. I don't think it was Monday. So I'd set the stage with some kind of date. And yeah, like I think it was 6 or 7 videos have been demonetized just because YouTube's algorithm had detected that they were unsuitable, and it was really annoying. I you can, when you have like I think when you have 100,000 subscribers or something, you can actually contact YouTube directly over like a live chat thing. And I got them up on live chat, and I was like, "Where the fuck has my videos gone? What's going on?" And they're actually really nice people, so that was a bit aggressive and a bit mean, but it wasn't their fault. But I was able to get a few of them back onto being monetized, but it's just scary, you know. Uh, it's weird that, you know, doing all your business on the internet is a scary thing as it is, right? Because you don't have a kind of a tangible product. Unless I turn the videos into like a DVD box set, there's nothing. If something happens to my channel, all the videos could go, and that's it. They've gone, and that's everything. Got like all traces of abroad in Japan could be wiped out. Touch wood. All traces of abroad in Japan could be wiped out in about 5 seconds, and that's a really scary thing. So when YouTube, the organization which you rely on, fucks you out of the blue like that, then it's a very scary thing. And so I was glad to get some of the videos remonetized and whatnot. But then again, when I posted the last video, the second North Korean video, where I exploited the situation again by making another North Korean video, they demonetized it before I'd even posted it and put it up onto YouTube, because their algorithm, their brilliant algorithm, had detected that it was about war or North Korea. So I basically just scanned the video title, I think, and just saw North Korea, and then they run that through their algorithm. North Korea equals bad, don't monetize, and that was that. So yeah, it's kind of shit. And as I said in the vlog a few weeks ago, it sucks because even if it does get remonetized again, most of the money, most of the kind of ad revenue that I would have made off it has gone, because with the YouTube video, you get kind of like 90% of your traffic and your revenue in the first 24, 48 hours. So that was gone. The only upside to it all is it kind of made a lot of people realize the importance of Patreon, and there's lots of awesome people have kind of helped support the channel this month. This month's been a really great month for Patreon and getting you guys in. There might be people, wonderful people here. You might be new to this month, in which case, thank you for supporting the channel. Like more than ever, Patreon is really important, and I'm certainly going to try and push it a little bit more than I have done over the last year, because I don't really talk about Patreon. You know, I don't really talk about it much. It's just been there the whole year, and we do stuff on Patreon, but I don't really talk about it on YouTube that much. And I probably will mention it a bit more now, because I feel like going forward, it's pretty scary relying on YouTube, right? It's scary. So yeah. If you've supported from this month, thank you, and I'm glad. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, do you think the vlogs have been a good idea so far? Originally, the weekly vlog thing was only going to be like a pilot. But is it good or bad? How's it been? Let me know, because if there's something I can change or something I can do to make it better, let me know and I will. So yeah, that's what I'll say on that. But no, seriously, thanks for supporting the channel. I don't say it enough, but yeah, I'm bloody grateful. And it means that going forward, even if YouTube demonetized all of the videos, touch wood again, don't fucking do that, then we will still just be okay. It won't be the end. So that's good. And I've thought long and hard, and everything does taste better out the Like a Magic mug. Available in the store. I will be product placing everything throughout this video. I don't even know what I was saying there. Shit. Damn you, mug. You've made me lose my train of thought. No, I was going to say, I'm thinking of having a website built for the kind of channel to kind of centralize it all around something that isn't YouTube a bit more. And I think we're going to see a lot more channels move towards doing things like Patreon going forward. It's great, you know, it's nice having the things you make supported by the very people that watch them, because now it means you guys can support, it means you guys can actually shape the kind of direction of the channel and the videos that we make as well. So yeah, I think it's quite good. All right, into the comments. And also, let's put on the air conditioning because I'm very hot. Temperature's finally cooling down now here in Sendai, thank Christ. All right. No, you're so humble about your Patreon. Thank you. Right. Love the vlogs. The vlogs are good. I enjoy the vlogs. Vlogs are good. But yeah, it was good. Any constructive criticism about the vlogs, though? Is there anything that can be made better? I did film the interview with Ryotaro 2 days ago. So there's that. That will be out on Monday or Tuesday. And the Sapporo video, sorry about the Sapporo video. I did say it'll be out at the end of the week. It's going to be out tomorrow. I finished the Sapporo video. It's really fun. For those of you that love Natsuki, I think you're going to enjoy it because he's in it quite a lot with his wacky, crazy remarks as we stumble around Sapporo. And that'll be out tomorrow. I've kind of finished it, but it's one of those things where you just want to make sure you go through it and make sure it's perfect before you release it. So I think it's quite a good video. I actually quite enjoy watching it. Some nice memories there from the Sapporo trip. What else is on news? Oh, yes. So we've had North Korean missiles, we've had YouTube demonetization, and we've also had merchandise this month. So that's why this month has been so bloody busy and so kind of erratic. Thank you to everyone who has bought merchandise so far. It's really awesome. I think there's been somewhere in the region of about 150 t-shirts sold or something, 150 products sold. So that's really awesome. And I think there's 2 days left on that. So if you want to take advantage of the 20% discount, do it while you can this weekend. But yeah, no, it's great. People have been sending me pictures wearing the merchandise, which is awesome. Again, it's one of those things that really puts in perspective as a YouTuber who doesn't get to meet the viewers that often. When you see someone wearing merchandise that looks like this, it's kind of like, wow, this is awesome. I forgot how cool it is doing kind of like YouTube and stuff and connecting with people. Merchandise, for me, merchandise isn't so much about having kind of income or making money, because truthfully, you don't make that much money from merchandise. The profit margins are like very small. But of course, any money that we do make is kind of roll back into the channel and producing videos. But it's more about that. It's just about kind of having a sense of community, I think, you know. It really does make you it really does add to that kind of sense of community when you see people wearing t-shirts or drinking from the mug or sitting on a Love Hotel pillow. This hasn't sold that well, to be honest. Best-selling t-shirt, can you guess what it is? Best-selling of all the products, of all the designs, which do you think is the best-selling? Fuck Sake, Like a Magic, Love Hotel, Natsuki's fucking cleaner one. Which do you think is the best-selling item and design? Let me know, and I'll let you know once you've guessed it. All right. Oh, what's that? That's interesting. Up the comments. Oh no, it's being lost in a sea of comments. Have you? Oh. Matt Mendoza says, "Hey Chris, have you heard about YouTube blocking Patreon links?" What? They better not be. If YouTube are doing that, that's gonna really, really piss me off. Why would they do that? Why would YouTube block Patreon links? I haven't heard of that, but I'm going to look into it now. If anybody knows anything about that, let me know, because that's both annoying and worrying. Can anyone think of a different name for Chris's vlogs? Yeah, it's a good idea. Can you think of any? Because there's no. Can I brand it something better than just a vlog? Well, I haven't actually thought of branding it yet. Good idea. Can you think of a name for the Patreon vlogs? Something that sounds exotic and exciting. Chris has sold himself out. How dare you say that? The delicious taste of water from the Like a Magic mug. Chris, was the Naked Lady Beauty Salon Natsuki's? No, it wasn't. The Naked Lady Beauty Salon was actually another salon, but they covered it up, as I said in that video a year ago. They covered up the naked lady on the side of the salon because the emperor turned up and they didn't want the emperor seeing it, so they covered it up. It's unfortunate, very sad. And they've got like a map on it. It's really boring and rubbish. Your videos should be less professional. Less professional? Why? How should they be less professional? Actually, the reason the Sapporo video is taking so long is because I've actually spent the last day going through lots of shots and stabilizing them on the on the editing software, and it does make a huge difference when you stabilize an image. It makes it feel like a kind of crappy vlog to actually like a crappy TV show. It's like to take to the next level, stabilize your footage. It makes a huge difference, and that's why one of the main reasons the Sapporo video didn't come out today. I prefer you stay yourself. We enjoy rather than change. Please no more cats, says Julia. No, don't worry, Julia, there won't be any cats. Mr. Snuggles is actually behind the sofa there. I did have the cat, the fluffy cat, Mr. Snuggles. He was on the sofa there earlier. And as I was setting this up, I saw him like on the sofa kind of there. And it was really creepy having him like sit there smiling like that. And I was like, I'm not going to sit here for 1 hour and have that cat stare at me. So I kind of stuck him around the back. I haven't put many videos either recently. Lots of people are complaining. It's the trouble when you start putting people or cats in your videos, people expect it as a given. And now that fucking the cat's not in it, everyone's complaining. So I've got to put the cat back in the videos. Damn. Just bought 2 t-shirts and a mug. One guess on which mug. It better be the Like a Magic mug. All right, you guys, let's see. Did you guess the most popular t-shirt for Fuck Sake, Fuck Sake, Fuck Sake, Fuck Sake, Like a Magic, Fuck. All right, the unanimous vote is for Fuck Sake t-shirt, and you're absolutely right. The #1 best-selling t-shirt or thing in general on the whole store is this shirt right here, which is good. Which is what I expected actually, so that's quite cool. And it is probably the best design by David, who is in the comments section. So well done, David, to that design. Although actually my favourite design, still the Like a Magic t-shirt. I love the retro vibe, 80s retro vibe. It's just so cool. But they're both really good designs. They're all 5 of them awesome designs. So well done, David. And also, David has also designed a really cool design. So I just need to stop using the word design, but he's got another really good design lined up for Korewa Pen desu. This is a pen, and it's a really cool t-shirt design, but we're going to probably put it out around Christmas time because more sales, right? Well, I really am a sellout, aren't I? Thinking like that. Terrible. But there will be more t-shirt designs on the way. But first things first, let's get these t-shirt designs done. Okay, that's interesting. What's that? All right. Did anybody come up with any names for the vlogs? Any interesting brand names? Voilin's Life says Chris's vlogs equals Krogs. Krogs. I'm not going to brand the vlog series Krogs, am I? Krogs. It sounds like a really awful TV show about something. I don't. Check Philip DeFranco's vlog from yesterday. He talks about YouTube blocking Patreon. Oh shit, that's not good. Oh, if YouTube block Patreon, there'll be like a war. Like YouTube's already losing its brand reputation because of the way it's been acting. I'm surprised actually that YouTube hasn't actually bought Patreon yet. I think there could be a chance that Google might reach out and buy it like they do with most things, which would be worrying. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully the people at Patreon won't do that. But then again, when you're offered $1 billion, it's a bit hard to say no, even if you do have principles, which the people at Patreon do. The people at Patreon are very nice and well principled. Well principled, is that even a word? Right. All right. The abroad vlog, or fuck another vlog. I've yet to see a convincing brand name for the vlogs on Patreon, but I'll keep an eye out, keep going, and if you come up with something, it could actually become the name of the vlog series. But for now, let's dive into your questions. So, what questions have we got? What questions have you guys sent in? Right, where should we start? What is something you want to... right, this is a question from Vex, and it is, what is something you still want to see in Japan that you haven't yet seen? Good question. There are 3 things I want to see in Japan that I haven't yet seen, and they're all in Kyushu because it's the one island in Japan I've yet not visited. I want to visit Kagoshima, which is the city with a kind of a volcano just off the coastline, and it looks amazing. It looks like a film set. Not like a film set. It looks like a scene out of a video game from all the pictures I've seen. This kind of cool volcano rising out the sea from across the water. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to Fukuoka, just because it seems to have a really great nightlife and like a really cool dynamic. I even thought about moving to Fukuoka once, but it's too far away from Tohoku and like Natsuki and Ryotaro and stuff, so it wasn't practical. And I've also really want to see Nagasaki as well, because it's the first place where Japan connected with the kind of the world outside Japan, and I think it'd be a really cool place to kind of discover the history. So Nagasaki for its nightlife, Nagasaki for its history and for the kind of history of the atomic bombing, Fukuoka for the nightlife, and Kagoshima for the awesome view of the volcano. Those are the three things I want to see the most, to be honest. But yeah, no, I've still got to go to Kyushu. It's pretty bad, isn't it? I haven't been there yet. I've been to nearly every corner of Japan now, and that's the one place. And actually, I really want to visit Takayama, which is a prefecture right in the middle of the Japanese Alps, which is a beautiful region. It's probably one of the most beautiful regions in Japan. And Takayama has the infamous kind of straw-roofed huts and houses and stuff. If you type in like Takayama Hida village, you'll see it. But it's kind of like, it looks like the set of like The Last Samurai or something. But it's a very beautiful looking place. And I'm going there next month, maybe to make a video, but certainly to check it out. So yeah, those are some places I'd love to go that I'd yet to visit. What about you guys? Where do you want to visit the most? What do you want to see that you haven't yet seen? I suppose if you haven't visited Japan, there's quite a lot of things on that list. But also, I'd just like to spend more time in Kansai. I haven't really spent as much time in Kansai as I'd like. Whenever I go to Osaka, I can never pronounce Osaka either. I suck at that. Whenever I go to Osaka, in British pronunciation, whenever I go there, I always go to the same place. I always go to Dotonbori, the place with the kind of cool bridge and the neon lights. I haven't actually explored much of that, much of Osaka outside that area. So I'd love to go and get lost in Osaka some more. Yeah, that'll be cool. Next question. I've heard that despite being an advanced country, in Japan, it's still hard to find Wi-Fi hotspots. Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. And this is one of my main things that pisses me off on a daily basis, especially to someone like me who relies on the internet so heavily. It's quite hard to come by the internet in Japan if you're not at home or in an office. The only two places that I know that regularly have Wi-Fi are Starbucks and Tully's Coffee. And there was one time I needed the internet when I was traveling around to film and edit and upload a video. And I sat in a Starbucks in Hiroshima for 8 hours non-stop working online because it was the only place that had the internet that I knew of in Hiroshima. So I was in Starbucks for 8 hours and I kept buying coffee and buying sandwiches, and I spent like $70 or something ridiculous on coffee and sandwiches just because I felt guilty just sitting in the corner not eating anything. So I had to keep buying shit. And yeah, if you spend a day in Starbucks, you're looking at a bill of like $70. Awful. But another thing is you can get pocket Wi-Fi, as has been said in the comment section. If you're traveling around Japan, grab a pocket Wi-Fi. They're really cheap and easy to get. A good friend who came to visit last week, he got a pocket Wi-Fi. I think it's like $40 for like 3 weeks or something. So it's pretty cheap and it's pretty convenient, but I have thought about buying one, but yeah, I'm too stupid to buy one. But yeah, no, if you really need the internet, get yourself to Starbucks or Tully's Coffee, but mainly Starbucks. They seem to have Wi-Fi more often. This is an interesting one. Have you ever encountered instances of Western paranoia about Japanese etiquette? I was told if a Japanese person offers you food or drink and you say no thank you, it's as bad as killing a member of their family. Don't worry, that's a little bit exaggerated. If someone offers you food and you say no, that's as bad as killing a member of their family. I don't know where you heard that, but that's a bit extreme. The only time it would be rude, so saying that you go into someone's house for like a meal and they say, have you got any allergies or things you don't like? And you say, oh no, it's fine. And then they like serve you maybe a fish or some steak or something, I don't know. And then you don't like it, or you're like, oh no, I don't eat that. Then that might be a bit rude, I guess, just because they've spent time preparing it. And in Japan, they have a very deep appreciation for kind of food. Like, as you know, when you eat food in Japan, you say "itadakimasu," which is kind of saying thanks to every living thing that has died to make the meal possible, whether that's plants or animals, hopefully not people, but whatever's been sacrificed to bring this meal before you. You would say talikimas to show gratitude towards that. So if somebody prepares food for you and you go, "I don't want that shit," then you're kind of not only disrespecting the person and their cooking, which you should never do in Japan, but you're also disrespecting everything that has been sacrificed to go into that meal. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of a faux pas, depending on how the situation plays out. So be careful. If you're allergic to something, then do tell the person beforehand, and then then it's fine. On the flip side, if you get served loads of food and that you get full, just tell them. Just tell the person, "Oh, I feel full, sorry," and I'll be fine. Saber Mao in the comment section says, "Many Bothans died to bring us this natto." Brilliant. That's a brilliant. I don't know. That's a fantastic reference. I'm amazed how you could tie in a Star Wars reference to Japanese dining culture. But actually, it's a popular question. There's another question here from a chap named Ben, who says, "I'm signing up for JET next year, but I can't eat fish. Is declining food a faux pas, and what will I do when it comes to eating fish?" And the simple answer there is just make sure before you sit down for a meal, you tell the chef or someone, "I don't eat fish," and the situation will be fine. But it might be difficult given how much fish is eaten in Japan. It's a very, very popular dish. But it's fine. I know people who don't eat fish that have survived perfectly well in Japan, so you'll be all right. But no, But going back to the previous question about paranoia when it comes to Japanese etiquette, I definitely dropped into that category. I fell into that category. For my first year here, I was very nervous all the time about stuff, and like setting a foot wrong. I always ate things even if I didn't like them, except if it was natto, because if you know what natto is, I'm sure you'll understand why I don't eat natto. Fermented soybeans that taste like, they're just horrible. They're just the worst thing. I can't eat them. But it's very common in Japan to be served it. It's called natto, and yeah, it's not nice. I can't eat it. But yeah, no, I was definitely very paranoid. I didn't know a whole lot about Japanese etiquette when I came here, but you'll find that there's a lot less rules than you think. It's definitely overplayed in the Western media. Sorry, not the Western media. It's definitely overplayed in the West that Japan has lots of etiquette and things. And the good thing is, if you're a foreigner, you instantly get kind of a free pass to not abide by the rules as much as you would. For example, I think I've talked about this before, but in my first year, I did do two things that were a bit silly, but I managed to get away with them for being foreign. The first one was, and people call this gaijin smash, as I'm sure you might know, gaijin smash, foreigner smash, where you can smash through a situation just by being a foreigner, which I don't advise because it's not doing foreigners any favors. But I did it twice in the space of one trip to Kyoto in my first year. I'd been in Japan about 3 months, and I drove to Kyoto on the highways all the way from like Yamagata, and I don't know if I should be saying this just in case anyone watches. It's fine. Don't tell anyone. But anyway, I drove all the way to Kyoto, and I got off the highway. And when you get off a highway in Japan, there's toll booths, right? Where you have to pay with cash or credit card. And most people who drive regularly have something called an IC card. So you can drive through the toll booth without meeting anyone and paying any money. And the gate opens, and then you just go through and live happily ever after. But I couldn't read Japanese, and I didn't speak or know any Japanese back then, 5 years ago. And I took the wrong exit. So when you come off a highway, there's two exits, one saying IC card and one saying cash. And I should have gone to the cash one, paid in cash, but I accidentally went to the IC card one. And the gate didn't open, of course, because I didn't have an IC card. And all the traffic was getting built up behind me, and it was getting really awkward and terrible. And one of the guys out the toll booth, the other side of the highway booth, had to come running over, and he was like, shit, what's going on? And I was like, oh, sorry, I've come through the wrong toll booth. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he said to me, he was speaking in Japanese, he didn't speak any English. He said to me, oh, Genki. I was like, oh, yeah, Genki. And he went, okay then. And then he opened the gate, and I drove off, and that was that. And I thought, oh, I've just got away with it. I've just got away with not paying about $200 worth of toll booth, highway tolls. You know, I've got away with it. And then a few months later, I learned the word for cash in Japanese. Turns out the word for cash, as you know, probably is genkin. And it turns out, when I was driving through, he said, "Genkin, like, are you going to pay by cash?" And I went, "Yeah, genki." And and then I drove off without paying. And in hindsight, I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it was good that I didn't pay $200, but I felt awful. The day I learnt the word for genkin, the word for cash, I was like, shit, I broke the rules. And I pictured some poor man in a toll booth in Osaka being scolded and told off and maybe even fired. But of course, they wouldn't have known how much the toll was. And truthfully, you know, yeah, I've often thought about telling that story on YouTube, but yeah, it's bad, isn't it? Technically, I broke the law, and I feel quite bad about it. But lesson learned, lesson learned. So there you go. The word for cash is genkin. Remember that. Lesson of the day. Or just do what I did and pretend you don't know. And then in the same day, I went to. If you don't know, the Nintendo headquarters is actually in Kyoto. It's in Kyoto, and I wanted to pay a pilgrimage to Nintendo headquarters. Not necessarily go in. I don't think I'm going to burst in and just sort of go, "Hello, yeah, show me things, show me Mario." I just wanted to go and see the building because, you know, Nintendo, fucking Nintendo. If there's one shrine you want to see in Japan, it's the Nintendo headquarters. So I parked up in a car park next to Nintendo, and I got out, walked around the corner, and I was like, yeah, it's fucking Nintendo. It's actually a really ugly, shitty-looking building that doesn't look anything good. It's just like a really bland-looking office block. But nonetheless, it was Nintendo, and I did a little pray and said thank you for a wonderful childhood. And then I headed back to the car park and got in my car and went to the ticket booth to pay for the car park, and I'd lost my fucking ticket. It's the only time it's happened in 5 years, but I'd lost my car park ticket and I couldn't get out, and it was really scary and awkward. Again, I didn't know Japanese and I was fucked. So I went to the ticket machine by the barrier. So the idea is you pay the cash, the barrier goes, and off you go. And I was like, shit, what do I do now? I haven't got my ticket. I'm fucked. So I hit the little button to call like a helper, and the woman came on the speaker and she was like, "Hello, what's the problem?" And again, I didn't know Japanese. She was talking and I was like, "Wakarimasen, sorry, I don't know what you're saying." And she was like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "I've lost my ticket. And she was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, "My ticket, I'm fucked. I don't know what to do." And then the door just opened and I was like, "Oh, great." And I got out of it again, just by not knowing Japanese. Gaijin Smash. I didn't pay a whopping $5 ticket, car parking ticket. I got out of it just by not knowing Japanese, and that is the definition of Gaijin Smash. And so, as a foreigner in Japan, you can get away with not paying for toll booths and not paying for car parks. So I must have saved $205 by using the Gaijin Smash method. So there you have it. If you can't speak Japanese, sometimes it can benefit you, but don't do that actively, because I know people that actually do try and exploit the situation by pretending not to know Japanese, and it's not advisable. But there you go. Those are my two Gaijin Smash stories. I feel like I've neglected the comments section by telling these two stories for the last 2 hours. So let's go up and see what you guys have been saying. And I'll drink from the mug. And there's no drink in the mug. Shit. Now, do I put the garlic coke? No, I'm not having that. Don't drink garlic coke before bedtime. That's the second most important thing you've learned tonight, after the word genkin means cash. All right. Accidentally drove off, says AJ Fox. It was, I swear, it was an accident. And I did genuinely feel a real sense of guilt to the poor guy in the ticket booth. I just pictured him, months later, I just pictured him standing there in fucking a state of horror going, shit, what's he doing? Why is he just driven off? And just him standing there like wondering if he was going to get fired. And I felt bad for that for the last 5 years, laying awake at night, worrying about that. Thank you for these kind of stories. This is why I'm a Patreon, yeah. I don't think I'll tell those stories on YouTube, just because I don't really want them out in public. All right. How to save money in Japan 101. Yeah, I know, right? Terrible. Voilin's Life says, do you want someone to put sake in your cup? I do. Interesting point in Japan. You don't ever pour your own drink. Someone pours it for you. And there's no one here to pour it for me. So I do actually have this drink as backup. A good friend of mine bought one of my favourite drinks from the UK that you can't get in Japan. It's Magners Irish cider. It's the drink of kings. All right, it's not the drink of kings, but it's bloody good. And you can't buy good cider in Japan, so yeah. But I don't think I'm going to drink that before bed. Probably not a good idea. Can you get sake cup merch? Sake cup merchandise? Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I don't think we can though. I don't think they've got it on Redbubble. That'd be brilliant though. All right. Yeah, that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Imagine, picture this for fuck sake cup set. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh. Maybe for Christmas we'll try and get a way of doing that. Even a shot glass, yeah. Even Christy says even a shot glass would be awesome. Yeah, that would be quite good. That's another one for the Christmas merchandise shop. We'll have a fuck sake cup set. That'd be really cool. I'm game for that. Celeste says, "Is your mum proud of you? Does she or your family have any commentary on abroad in Japan?" Interesting point, I suppose. I don't know really. Would your mum be proud if you sat in a room talking to a camera for a living? I think she's just proud in general. She's a nice mum, and she's kind of just proud that I've done something. Yeah, I think she's proud. This is why it's good to be on TV sometimes. I've been on TV twice this year, well, 3 times, but one time in the UK last week on ITV, and I think that looked good because she can now go to friends at work and just say, "Oh, my son was on television yesterday." Whereas if it's YouTube, it sounds shit, doesn't it? "Oh, my son's on YouTube." Oh, right, great. Like, to people over 40, YouTube's just people talking about themselves in their bedroom, right? Which is basically what I do half the time anyway. But once you've been on TV, you can exploit that, and your family suddenly realise that you've done something great, even if it is for just 20 seconds on TV. So yeah, I think they're proud. Don't know. I don't think they watch the videos though. I originally, as I've said before, I originally started this whole YouTube channel to remind my friends and family back home, all the other side of the world, that I was still alive and doing things in Japan. I was kind of like, "Look at me, I'm in Japan, yeah." And everyone went, "Oh, that's good, isn't it? Well done." Ha ha ha, yeah. No one cared. So yeah, I think this whole channel was basically started as a cry for attention to friends and family back home, and it didn't work. But hopefully when fame and fortune come my way, in the form of being on television, they'll finally appreciate everything I've done. No, don't worry, that's not the real reason I do YouTube. Probably. All right. How do you carry around your heavy DSLR every time when you travel in Japan? I recently bought a DSLR, but I have no idea how to easily carry it with me. It's funny you should say that, actually. I bought a new bag just 2 days ago, actually, for the DSLR. I'm tempted to show it to you, but it's over there. Oh, I'll do it. I'll go. I think, yeah, it's quite far, isn't it? All right. And there's the cat. So, go away. So this is the bag I used to put my camera and equipment in. I bought it last week, actually, and you can fit pretty much everything you want in here. The brand is Loa Pro. Really good brand if you're getting into filmography, if that's a word. And yeah, so I just put the DSLR in there. You've got You've got the Rode shotgun mic, which is the first thing you need if you're going to do sound, and then there's DSLR. So yeah, it's about $70 this bag, but it will last like 5 or 6 years hopefully, so it's worth it. But if you're going to do filming stuff, get this bag. Oh, he's gone. Don't know where he's gone. Rolled off down the room. Would you stay? Oh, that's an interesting question from Unrequited Love. Would you say staying in Tokyo for 10 days can get boring? It can get boring. It can. But it depends. What if it's your first time in Tokyo? No, it shouldn't get boring. But if I find if I go to Tokyo for 10 days, I get bored now a little bit. Mainly because I'm just anxious to get back to work, and if I'm in Tokyo, I tend to procrastinate and do stupid things, you know. But actually, if you don't go to Tokyo that often, 10 days is a great amount of time to spend there. There's so much to do, and even then, you know, you can get lost down the side streets. Wake up at 6 a.m. and walk from Koreatown, in what's the name of the area? What's the name of the place where Koreatown is? It's about 10 minutes north of Shinjuku. But walk from there all the way to like Tokyo Station, and you just walk all the way through Tokyo for a day, and you'll see some amazing stuff. Or cycle it, but it's a great place to just practice your photography as well. Do you plan on traveling outside Japan anytime soon, says Vex? I do plan on going to Taiwan in November to just go on a kind of 3 or 4 day trip. I've been to Taiwan before. Taipei is my favorite city I think it's my favorite city in Asia, maybe ever. It's just such an amazing city. Like Taipei, Taiwan in general is like a mixture of Japanese culture and Chinese culture. Chinese, obviously, because the nationalist Chinese government moved there in the late 1940s when the communists won. But also it's kind of got influenced by Japanese culture because Japan controlled it for a time. In the first half of the 20th century, I think, well, at least around World War II anyway. And there's definitely some kind of influence there. And also because Taiwan is still in a state of kind of, not conflict, but it's always been kind of obviously the antithesis of China, the People's Republic. It's on good terms with Japan. It's got a very good relationship. And yeah, the people in Taiwan are very friendly, really awesome, great people. But the city of Taipei is just so fucking cool and vibrant and exciting. Like, my one criticism about Japan is the streets can feel very sterile sometimes, because it's not often that you see people sitting outside drinking, eating, having fun, even in the height of summer, you know, on a nice cool summer's evening. People aren't outside much. All bars and all restaurants in Japan happen behind closed doors. And it's great in the sense that streets are clean and whatnot, but it's also kind of depressing because, you know, you lose a sense of vibrancy. And Taipei has that. When you walk through the streets in Taipei, you're bombarded with the smell of food, people sitting outside drinking, bicycles and scooters everywhere. There's a lot more plants for some reason in Taipei. And I just love it. It's a really cool place. I was there a week and I fell in love with it, and I'm really looking forward to going back. And I actually nearly did move to Taipei, and actually just when I finished teaching 2 years ago, I was kind of like, do I go to Taipei or do I stay in Japan? And I chose to stay in Japan just because, well, when you name your channel Abroad in Japan, you kind of set yourself up, don't you? And I didn't want to really call myself Abroad in Taiwan. Don't think that would have worked. But no, I decided there was still so much that I wanted to do in Japan, and I had so much going on here. It would have been stupid for me to abandon that. And even then, I don't know if I really want to live in Taiwan. But certainly, I'm really looking forward to going back then. If you're in Asia and you have a bit of time, even 3 days would be enough to have a really cool trip to Taipei. And it's only about 3.5 hours flight from Tokyo, so it's doable. Definitely check it out. But yeah, the closest city I've been to in Japan that's like Taipei is Osaka. So if you don't want to go to Taipei, just go to Osaka. A few people in the comment section have asked if I've been to South Korea. No, I haven't been to South Korea. I don't know why. It's one of those things. I should have been to South Korea many times, but I haven't. I've got some friends there who always invite me over, and I keep wanting to go, but I just haven't had the chance, But I'd love to go to Seoul. I'd love to go to Seoul so much. I've got a friend there who's a YouTuber, and he started out the same time as me. What's his YouTube name? His YouTube channel name is We Fancy. I don't know why he named it that, but he's a really awesome guy. His name's Alex. He's a British guy, and he started out YouTube the same time as me, and we've kind of been friends as our YouTube channels have grown. And he's often in music videos for K-pop bands now. You know, like crikey, I don't know. I don't actually know their names, but he's always in these like K-pop music videos now, and he's gone from being a YouTuber to like some kind of wacky foreigner who's in these K-pop music videos. It's really interesting to see. But he always invites me over, and I really want to go. But yeah, no, I love to go. Love to go. David says away in Taipei. Yeah, that could be the new channel, couldn't it? Away, lost in Taipei, away in Taipei. Yeah. All right. Into the questions we dive once more. Jack Sadler, who I owe, if Jack Sadler is here, thank you again for recording the video of ITV the other day. Jack Sadler says, would you be brave enough to do a video exploring the truth about about how crap Disney is? To Jack, I say, no, I don't ever want to set foot in Tokyo Disneyland again. And if you ever come to Tokyo, I'd strongly advise you to not go anywhere near it. As I've said before, I queued for 3.5 hours for a ride. It was the shittest ride I've ever been on. It was called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something. It was a roller coaster that lasted a whopping 36 seconds or something. And I was just fucking angry as hell. And even now, thinking about it 2.5 years later, I get angry just thinking about Tokyo Disney. So no, I'm not going to go there, even to make a video talking about how shit it is. And yes, they do have an express pass, to AJ Fox in the comment section. They do have an express pass, but it's sold out because you know, all the like Japanese school kids that turn up, they go for the express pass straight away when they get into the theme park, and it's gone. So yeah, it's not fun. Like, it really isn't. And in one day in Tokyo Disney, I went on 3 rides, and it's like $100 to get in for 2 people or something. I took my sister, actually. My sister came over to Japan for the first time, and I thought, oh, it'll be fun. I'll treat her to Disneyland. And it was shit. It was the worst thing I've ever done. On the flip side, if you want 3 theme parks that are good, number 1 is Fuji-Q Highland Park, which is situated just next to Mount Fuji. I actually went there a month or 2 ago with a friend, and it's amazing. It's got some of the best rides I've been to ever in the world. Some really terrifying rides, but best of all, it has an incredible view of Mount Fuji, which you can kind of see through the clouds if you're lucky. But you get a good view of Mount Fuji, but you get some of the best rides in Japan. Fuji-Q Highland Park. Second best theme park I've been to is Universal Studios in Osaka. For some reason, it wasn't as busy as Tokyo Disney. Maybe I went in off-peak season or something, but it's just, yeah, it wasn't too busy, and the rides were a lot more fun than Disneyland. We got on a lot more rides in a day. I think we got on like 6 or 7 rides, and they've got Harry Potter World. And you know, I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan, but it was still quite fun walking around. What's it called? That town next to Harry Potter. What's that? It's next to Hogwarts. That town. Oh, Hogsmeade. There you go. I still remember Harry Potter. It was quite cool. Like, it actually felt like being in a Harry Potter book, walking through Hogsmeade with your butterbeer. Fucking butterbeer tastes great as well. Oh, Vex, I'm heading to Universal Studios tomorrow, going in Halloween makeup. Good luck with that. Enjoy Halloween in Universal Studios tomorrow. And if you do go, grab a cup of butterbeer. It tastes amazing. Although it's just like root beer, but it's great. It's great. When I read Harry Potter books or saw like the movies, I always wanted to try butterbeer, and they had it in Universal Studios Harry Potter Land. So make sure you drink it. And the third greatest amusement park in Japan is Nuss Highland Park, which we featured in a video like 2 or 3 years ago now, and it was the video losing weight in Japan week 2, I think, or week 1 or something. But I went there with Natsuki, and as you may remember, it had Whoopi the Woodpecker, the Woody the Woodpecker rip-off, and it was just an amazing theme park. Again, quite a few roller coasters, but absolutely no one there. Like, there was no one. And so Natsuki and I had these roller coasters that were, in some cases, bigger and better than the ones at Disneyland. We had them all to ourselves, and we were just going around the roller coaster again and again. Nuss Highland Park. It's about half an hour north of the city of Utsunomiya, which is about 30 minutes outside of Tokyo by bullet train if you want to go there. But you will have to rent a car. You'll have to go to Utsunomiya and then rent a car and drive there. And it's probably take about an hour and a half from Tokyo. But if you're going with a friend, it's definitely worth it. Awesome place. So yeah, those are my 3 places to go in terms of theme parks. Does Fox Village count as a theme park? Says Saber Mal. No, it doesn't. There's no rides. And you can't ride around on foxes. But God, if you could, that'd be great. No, it wouldn't. That'd be animal cruelty. And I've already done that enough tonight by chucking the cat over the back of the sofa. But yeah, good luck in Universal Studios tomorrow to Vex in the comment section. I hope it's fun. I hope it's good. And yeah, Universal Studios is quite cool. You know, if there's one theme park you have to go to in Japan, that's probably the easiest to get to and the most fun. But if you do want to go to Fuji-Q, I can't believe I'm eating this jelly. But if you do, I'm hungry, you know. But if you do, but if you do want to go to Fuji-Q Highland Park, there's a bus from Akihabara and Tokyo Station or Shinjuku. So it's pretty easy to get there. You just hop on the bus, you're there in 90 minutes, and you've got the best theme park ever. Fuji-Q Highland Park, remember that. Actually does taste kind of crap. I feel obliged to eat them now that I bought them. So it's trouble, isn't it? When you buy things, you have to eat them. I have those disgusting Harry Potter beans. Haven't tasted them yet though. Oh, Bertie Bott's weird flavoured beans. Yeah. God, I really do know a lot about Harry Potter. I guess a lot of you, I was raised alongside Harry Potter at the same time. Like, I think I'm 1 year younger than Daniel Radcliffe, so I felt like I was Harry Potter. Like a lot of people growing up at that time. So yeah, I feel a special connection to Harry Potter. Good question from Andrew. How is the Natsuki movie coming along? I'm really excited to watch it because he is so awesome. I showed my friends some of the videos with him, and now we all quote him. Yes, Natsuki the movie. I'm actually going to talk about it in a vlog, probably next week. Yes, it's later than expected, as we know. It was, to be honest, I kind of shot myself in the foot. When I put end of September in the teaser trailer for Natsuki the movie back in June, it was a very stupid thing of me to do because I had no idea really how long it was going to take, but I just thought, oh, I'm sure it'll be done by September. And it's not done, is it? It's not out yet. And the reason it's not out is because there's one final piece of the puzzle for Natsuki the movie, and that is the ending scene. If you want, I'll tell you the plot of Natsuki the movie right now, unless you don't want spoilers. But I'm going to talk about it in a vlog anyway. So Natsuki's, in short, the reason it's been delayed is because Natsuki is writing a song that he's going to play, a kind of punk rock song that he wants to put at the end of the film, and it's a punk rock song that's inspired by his trip to the UK. And so the end of the film, so Natsuki basically goes to Europe on this adventure in search of just, well, I think he goes to Europe because he does a fucking, what do you call it? Can't think of the word. Bucket list. So Natsuki has a kind of bucket list of things he wants to do in Europe. He goes to Europe and he finds some inspiration finally to write a song. As you know, Natsuki, as you probably know, Natsuki wanted to be in a punk rock band when he was growing up, and that dream fell through, and he ended up owning a beauty salon. And lots of people in the comment section are very excited about the song, as I can see. Yeah, so he lost that dream because he started his beauty salon, and it's quite difficult being in a band anyway, as I'm sure some of you know if you were in a band or are in a band. But he kind of finds some inspiration over in the UK from his trip, and he uses the events of the trip to write a song. And this wasn't something we've actually planned out either. It wasn't like a kind of narrative like, oh yeah, we'll go and write a song. We came back, and the end of Natsuki the movie was just him kind of looking back over the trip and going, oh, that was fun, which doesn't sound like a very good ending because it wasn't. And then the other week he showed me this song he'd started doing, and like the kind of rhythm and the song, and it was really good. And he was like, I'm writing this song inspired by the trip, and I would like to put it at the end of the video. And I was like, yes, this is the ending the video needs. So that's the main reason Natsuki the movie is currently delayed, and I will talk about that at length in a little bit. But basically, I shot myself in the foot as well by saying the release was in September. I had no authority to put a release date on it, especially as the teaser trailer for Natsuki the movie came out about a week after we'd just finished filming in the UK. I think I was just anxious to put something out to prove that we were doing something, right? But I shouldn't have put end of September. I should have just put end of 2017, you know. But anyway, I know the wait will be worth it, and I apologise for the delay on Natsuki the movie, but the wait will be worth it. Bear with me. It'll be good. But this won't be good. Why am I eating more of these fucking apple jelly things? What's wrong with me? Anyway, all right. It's just so impractical. Oh God. Right. More questions. It's not flattering eating these damn things either. Coming next, never. Don't worry, Natsuki the movie will be out before the end of the year. But I will, in the absence of the late September release date, I will share some clips with you, you know, just because I think that's fair. When it comes to Natsuki the movie, people have been messaging me about it the last 3 months, going, where is it? Where is it? I want to see it. I want to see it, blah, blah, blah. And not just, you know, and it's just everyone. But the only people I feel like I have to explain myself to are you guys on Patreon, because it's funded by Patreon. It's a Patreon funded project. So I feel accountable to you all, quite rightly so. So that's why I'm going to talk about it in a blog, probably the vlog after the next one, because the next vlog is the Q&A with Ryotaro, where he kind of talks about who he is and what's going on and stuff. So yeah. All right, now let's dive into some questions. As for the song, some questions about the song. Yeah, the song is about just his time in the UK and stuff that happens. I think it'll tie in quite nicely with the video. So yeah. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm looking for some water. Where is water? That is very strange. The mystery of the missing water bottle that was below the chair, but now isn't. Very weird. All right, so Holly says, sorry if this is a boring question, but any tips for writing statement of purpose? Are you talking about the JET program when it comes to statement of purpose? Because there is a question here about the JET program, which I'm going to cover now. For those of you, I know that some of you guys are considering doing the JET program either next month. I think the application process starts in next week, actually, or certainly going forward. So I'll quickly address the JET program. Adam says, and Adam's question ties in with yours a bit, Holly. I'm a college senior student in California, getting ready to apply to JET. Do you have any advice for what the JET program likes in their applicants? I have 3 things. So 3 things they look for on the JET program are: number 1, links to Japan in any tangible way, whether that's an interest in Japanese culture, or you've learned the Japanese language in any way, or you've been to Japan, or you have a friend from Japan, or you've studied a martial art. Any of those things will look good on your application process. So for example, what did I do for mine? I took some lessons in Japanese. They were really bad. I learned nothing, but I just wrote on my CV, took lessons in basic Japanese, but it wasn't something really credible that I had. I'd say about 60% of the people I've met on the JET program have learned Japanese in some capacity, and that is a really easy way to get on it. That's the fast track. If you know some Japanese or you have any background in Japanese, you're in. If you've been to Japan before, that'll play out well. And if you have any friends or some kind of connection with Japan, that'll be really in your favor. The 2 things I used were, I learned basic Japanese at school, at university, although it wasn't very good. And I said I had an interest in films, Japanese films, and I said I'd read quite a few books about Japan. I wrote on my statement of purpose, is it purpose? Yeah, that I'd read a book about wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is the kind of Japanese Buddhist aesthetic. Wabi-sabi is kind of a design aesthetic. And to be honest, I only read half the book, but I put it in my statement of purpose. And when I went in for my interview in the Japanese embassy, they brought up the damn book and they were like, "Oh, we see you've read about wabi sabi. Can you tell us what that is?" And I was like, "Oh shit," because it's actually one of the most difficult things ever to explain. If you Google wabi sabi, you'll see why it's so difficult to explain. And I was like, "Oh, it's so difficult to explain. I don't know how I'm going to do it." And eventually, they just let me off. But it showed that no matter what you write, if there's some kind of connection to Japan, they'll pick it up in the interview or on your application, and that will really, really help you. Second thing, 2 out of 3, is adaptability. That's a really important one. How adaptable are you? Have you lived abroad before? If you've lived abroad before, you have a very strong chance of getting on the JET program, because they want people they know they can place in the countryside, they can place in the city, they can place anywhere in Japan, and they'll get on with it. Because every year, quite a few people do say, like, quite a few people get in a few months in and then bail on the JET program because they can't handle it, because it can be quite an intense and scary thing living in Japan. So they really want people who are adaptable, and if you've lived abroad, then you've got a really good chance. I said 60% of people on JET had kind of knew some Japanese to get in. I'd say at least 40% of the people I met on JET had lived abroad or had travelled extensively. So if you've got any experience of travelling overseas a lot or living abroad, put that on. Also make sure you put that you will happily live anywhere in Japan. Like, don't be specific. Don't say I want to live in Osaka, or I want to live in Kobe, like I did. But like, I did actually put, as well as that, I put I'd be happy to live anywhere in the countryside. And if you put that, you're greatly increasing your chances of getting on, because there aren't that many places on JET in the city, but they are in the countryside. So make sure you do that, and again, that will show that you're adaptable. And the third thing is teaching. This is another really important one. I'd say 50% of the people I knew had some kind of background in teaching. No, maybe 40%. If you have any interest in teaching, that will really play out well, because of course the JET program is about teaching fundamentally, and if you have any background in that, that will really work out. I had something there that I could put on my CV or my statement of purpose. I said I did a module at university where I had to do tutoring and teaching English. My degree was business and English linguistics. Don't ask why I studied that, I don't even know. But anyway, one of the modules in English linguistics was teaching English as a foreign language, and it wasn't that useful really. I didn't learn a lot, but it looked good on my statement and looked good on my application process. So I didn't really tick many boxes for JET, but that was one I kind of did tick, like some kind of experience in teaching, and just an interest in Japan really. So yeah, those are my 3 pieces of advice, and yeah. But those are 3 things I look for. So if you fit one of those 3 or all of them, then you'll be fine. I hope that helps. Good luck. And if you have any more questions about the JET program, do message me like in private, and I'll help you in any way I can. I actually I know the people at the JET program in the UK. I went out for fish and chips with them in May when I was back in the UK. They invited me out for lunch. It was very nice, and we talked about the JET program and how it works. But you know, I said to them, what is the thing? How do you decide somebody if they're suitable or not? And that was basically what they kind of told me. You know, they want someone with a link to Japan if possible, someone who's adaptable and shown it, or someone who has experience in teaching. And those are the 3 things you need. So good luck, Holly, and good luck, Ben, and good luck to any of you guys who are applying this week or going forward next month. Good luck and Godspeed. And if you do fail at JET, if you don't get into JET, fail's the wrong word. If you don't get into JET, it really isn't the end of the world. Interac is just as good in many ways, and you get to choose where you get placed a lot of the time. So there's always Interac if you don't get on JET. And the salary is almost as good at JET, but not as good. But you know, Interac is quite good. So yeah. Do you think the JET program could benefit from allowing older people onto it? That's a really good question, actually. The oldest people I knew on JET were about 32, and they were all, and actually the best teacher I know that I've ever met on JET, my good friend, Canadian guy, he was I think he was over 30. I think he's about 32, and he was an amazing teacher. He didn't connect with the students as much as someone who might be 24, I think, but he was a very good teacher. So yeah, I think I can see why they hire younger people to be on the JET program, right? Because you can connect with the younger students more. Like, younger students would kind of talk to me like a friend, because in some cases I was only 6 years older. So I taught 16 to 18 my students, and when I started out, I was only 22. Shit, only 4 years older. That's crazy. Blimey, I didn't realize it was such a small age gap. But it meant like people would come and talk to me as a friend, and that's what I wanted. That's what they want in many ways on JET. They just want you to be an excuse for the students to use English. So that's why they hire younger people. But I don't think they should necessarily have a rule. I think the upper limit is around 40 though. But I don't know anyone who's over 35 that's been on JET. Yeah. Lots of questions there on JET. Interac is always open, but their intakes are twice a year. There you go. Yeah, there's always Interac. I actually applied for a job on the EPIC program in Korea as well, teaching English in Korea, and they offered me a job going into Korea, but that was my backup. If I didn't get to Japan, I was going to go to Korea instead. So things could have turned out very differently if I didn't get on JET. I would have actually ended up in Korea. So yeah, weird, isn't it? Weird how things turn out. Though I'm very glad how it did turn out. It's just one of those things. So there you go. If you don't get on JET, there's always Korea. If you don't want to do TEFL, if you don't want to do Interac, there's always Korea. Although given the current situation, I can see why many people wouldn't want to do that. Oh no, not again. I've just subconsciously picked up another apple jelly without thinking. All right, what other questions have we got? What is the time? I don't even know. What's the time? Does anybody know the time? Oh, crikey, it's 11:20. All right, well, we better start wrapping things up, guys, before you all get bored. Bored of me talking. Any last questions on here? Is Takeshi Kitano still big in Japanese culture? Interesting question. Takeshi Kitano beat Takeshi. He's still popular. He's still got his own TV show. He's always on TV. And of course, he was in the recent Ghost in the Shell movie, which was utter shit. And it was the worst movie I've seen probably in the last 2 years. Yeah, he was in Ghost in the Shell. And yeah, it was awful. I really hated that Ghost in the Shell movie. I don't know if any of you watched it, but it wasn't even that Scarlett Johansson was in it. I didn't mind about that. It just felt like it was really poorly written. It just felt like it was very poorly written. Everyone says, oh, the visual effects of Ghost in the Shell were good. It looked really great, visually it looked amazingly beautiful and stuff. And it did look all right. But fundamentally, if you haven't got a good script and a good story, it doesn't matter, does it? Who cares? I didn't care. It can have the best visuals in the world, but if it hasn't got a good story, it doesn't quite cut it. And it was awful. Really awful. But I'm bloody looking forward to the new Blade Runner movie. The reviews are amazing for that. So only problem is films, and this is the worst thing about Japan. Films come out in Japan about a month or usually more after they come out everywhere else in the world. The best thing about living in the UK was films always come out in the UK first. Very often they come out in the UK first. And now I'm in the country where they come out last, and that's a bit shit. So yeah, sucks. But anyway, sucks. Horrible. All right, guys. I think we'll wrap it up there. Me sitting here eating apple jelly. Do you like his older movies? Yes, I do. Fireworks is a bloody good movie. What's Fireworks? Hanabi. Takeshi Kitano, Hanabi, or Fireworks. A really good movie. I think it came out in 1997, 1996. But that's a really good movie. So yeah, check that out if you haven't seen that movie. At least Japan is getting Star Wars 8 the same day as the US. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Oh, that's great. Chris, how do you separate your work from your free time? I imagine that being a YouTuber can make that quite challenging. Yes, it's a very good question. The thing is about life as a YouTuber is there is no free time. There is no work day. It's just whatever it is, you know. It's a difficult thing. Like today, I edited for maybe 8 or 9 hours, and in between that, I had spent about 2 hours playing Zelda Breath of the Wild in between to try and kind of relax a little bit. So you know, you kind of do find a way, but it's very difficult. It's good and bad because you can never switch off as a YouTuber. You've always got Twitter notifications, you've always got Facebook and YouTube notifications, and you've always got to think about the next video, and you've always got to edit. At the same time, it's nice, you know, that you can have days off on the week as well. You know, you kind of make up your schedule as you go along. So yeah, Kingsman 2 is a great movie. Who'd have thought it? Actually, Kingsman 1 was good, wasn't it? All right, guys. Well, I've done it again. I've opened another fucking jelly. Am I addicted? Whoa. Switch, Chris. Do you have a Switch? Says Adam. I do have a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I do. A friend gave it to me as a present, and it's great. I love it, actually. Nintendo Switch is awesome. It's really great. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, but mainly because of Breath of the Wild. Like, it's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Nintendo did an incredible job on Breath of the Wild. Like, it is the reason to buy the Nintendo Switch. So yeah. I've nearly gone through all these jelly sweets. There's only 2 left now. Should give them away as a prize for some sort of competition. Right then, guys. So I'll wrap things up there. Oh, my Fuck Sucker t-shirt just arrived today. Really like it. Awesome. Thank you, Connor. And if you do get your merchandise, feel free to send it. Send a picture over. Show us what you're wearing. It's always cool to see. Should have like a little picture page with everyone with their merchandise. That'd be quite fun. Right, guys, I'll wrap it up there. Anything else I need to add? No. Other than tomorrow, Sapporo video, finally. It's a really fun little video. I hope you guys like it. If you love Natsuki, you're going to like it. Day after that, we've got the Q&A with Ryotaro video coming out. You can finally discover who the hell Ryotaro is and hear what he's like off camera. God forbid. And yeah, and then what else is coming out? We've got another video later in the week about Japanese nightlife that I made with Ryotaro 2 days ago, so that should be good as well. But for now, guys, I think we'll leave it there. And yeah, great. It's been fun. It's good. I've been lost. I haven't even looked at the time like once. That's when you know you've had a good Q&A. And I've discovered that if you drink coffee before you do a Q&A session, it goes a lot better. So I'll bear that in mind for the future. I'm not going to drink that. I'm not going to eat the jelly. It's horrible. God. All right, guys. So wherever you are in the world, have a great weekend and keep an eye out for the Sapporo video. But for now, all the best for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the week. Make a merchandise Instagram like Taylor. Merchandise Instagram. How can that? That's quite an interesting idea. Yeah. No. Yes. Oh, God. It really is horrible. Why am I eating this crap? All right, good night, guys. Have a great weekend. And thanks for watching. As always, it's been really good fun. And enjoy the Sapporo video. Enjoy Natsuki bumbling his way through Sapporo. It's going to be fun. And yeah, and to anyone on the JET program who's applying next month, message me in private and I'll help in any way I can because I want to help you get on the program. Like I feel like I want to. So yeah. All right. Bye, guys. See you later. And I'm gonna. No. All right. Oh, I better hit the stop button. I've still not got better at ending these live broadcasts. Shit. How can I end it? How can I end it? Well. No, I'm not going to get the cat. All right. We'll end it there. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Fucking jelly. It's done. Oh, it's over. They're gone. I can finally go to bed now and not feel worried that I have to eat more tomorrow. Thank God for that. Stupid